Good.
Hi, I'm Marcella Vonn Harting. I have a PhD in psychoneurology and integrative health, and it's my pleasure today to talk with you about our emotions, like how are we feeling, and actually to introduce to you the Feelings Kit from Young Living. Gary created the Feelings Kit for greater health and happiness to eliminate stored and negative emotions. And this is a quote from Dr. Gary Young. He says that negative experiences and ideas are recorded in our brains and locked into our memories throughout our lives. These memories range from mild to extreme and have a profound effect on our health and happiness in order to become who we are intended to be. We must erase these negative and reprogram our thoughts to make us positive for the ideas of our reality. And I love that quote from Gary. And I'd like to start this class by sharing with you about another great person that's no longer on the planet with us, and that's the author of the book, Molecules of Emotion. That's Candace Pert. And she wrote the book, Molecules of Emotion, the science behind mind and body medicine. And she shares her pioneering research on how chemicals in our body form a dynamic information network, linking mind and body. Pert's theory is that emotions are peptides. She says our every move, function, and thought is influenced by our emotions because peptides are information substances. They're being messages to our cells. She is suggesting that our emotions are molecules and they exist in real, concrete, biological form. This explains why and how our health is affected by our emotions. If these peptides are our emotions, then they continually come into contact with our immune system, our endocrine system, our nervous system, matter of fact, every system in the human body. Depending on our emotional state, if you're happy, angry, sad, these different peptides are released, and hence different messages are sent throughout the body. So each peptide has its own emotional tone or mood that we can experience. You know, Candace Pert, she reports that a typical nerve cell or neuron may have millions of receptors on its surface. And these messenger molecules and most of our hormones are made up of amino acids and the basic building blocks of our protein, and they're called peptides. So that's actually what a peptide is. The technical names are longer chains of amino acids. None of these chemicals are resistant to any one area or organ of the body. They're not restricted in any way. So they each carry information from one cell or one organ to another. And I'm just going to share that this really comes down to the fact that the inability to process and express feeling ineffectively and the tendency to serve the needs of others before even considering one's own are common patterns of people who develop chronic illnesses. So it's something to really look at. As a psychoneurologist, everything is connected. And it's why when we have a lot of people, if they never go back to the source of what's really happening in their body, it's usually the thing that will take them off the planet. And it's why it's very important to look at the mind, body, and spirit. And the thing that I love with Young Living is they created a kit called the Feelings Kit that truly just addresses this need of a basic place to really start with how we start to address our emotions. And when we go into the way the olfactory system works, we actually find that our sense of smell is so profound. It locks us back into emotions. When we've smelled bread cooking as a child for the first time, and life was really good and wonderful, and every time we smell bread cooking as an adult, we have this sense of loving and nurturing or what was going on at that time. So we tend to lock emotions in to that first smell. And that's why our sense of smell is absolutely one of the most profound senses out of all of our senses. In this chart, I just have a picture of the brain here and kind of showing you the brain, the limbic system, and the emotional responses. So, you know, how aroma works is the heavier the molecule weight of an oil, the less volatile it is. And all of our oils are volatile, but myrrh and frankincense are very thick oils, so they're not as volatile. The lighter the molecule weight of an oil, the quicker the odor will flash off or evaporate. And the evaporating vapor or gas from essential oils creates all the fragrances. So ketones, constituents like terpenes are the main constituents responsible for fragrance in essential oils. And fragrance is present in gases, it's not in liquids. So that's just a little bit of an education on how aroma works in the body. But now we go into this place called the DNA. And today, it's that slide says DN. It should say DNA. I'm sorry about that. But what we find is the DNA and emotions. That new data now supports the idea that the human emotions determine the actual patterning of the DNA within the body. And so stated in another way, and I've got this on the slide so you can easily see this, that just the common sense of our language, researchers have discovered that the arrangement of matter, what is matter? Matter is atoms, bacteria, viruses, climate, even other people surrounding your body is directly linked to the feeling from within your body. And so you can see this little chart of all the happy faces. I mean, we go through so many emotions every day, and it's like how those emotions affect us. So health experts are beginning to recognize a connection between the physical experiences of the body and the emotional turmoil that people have. Researchers show that stress and other negative emotions compromise our immune function. Traumatic experiences, we've all had that in our bodies. They're stored on a cellular level, and they can prevent us from moving forward with our lives. Signs of emotional blocks may include confusion, inability to make life choices, lack of direction, failure to set and accomplish goals, inability to give or receive love, lack of success in one's life, reoccurring illnesses with no apparent cause. So this kit was really designed just to apply the oil blends found in the kit to activate processes that benefit the emotional and physical states of the body. We reprogram your mind with positive beliefs that can help you to live your life the way you were born to live. Young Living essential oils are your link to a brighter and healthier future. So Young Living's essential oil feelings contains a number of oils, and I'm going to go actually through those oils. But first, I'd like to share a little story with you about an old Cherokee tradition. And some of you may have heard this before. But a young boy came to his grandfather filled with anger at another boy who had done him injustice. The old grandfather said to his grandson, "Let me tell you a story. I too at times have felt the great hate for those that have taken so much with no sorrow for what they do. But hate wears you down, and hate does not hurt your enemy. Hate is like taking poison and wishing your enemy would die. I've struggled with these feelings many times. It is as if there are two wolves inside me. One wolf is good and does no harm. He lives in harmony with all around him and does not take offense when no offense was intended. He will only fight when it is right to do so and in the right way. But the other wolf is full of anger. The little things will set him off into a fit of a temper. He fights everyone all the time for no reason. He cannot think because his anger and hate are so great. It is helpless anger because it is anger will change nothing. Sometimes it is hard to live with these two wolves inside me because both of these wolves try to dominate my spirit." The boy looked directly into his grandfather's eyes and he asked, "Well, which wolf will win, grandfather?" And the grandfather smiled and said, "The one that you feed." So Young Living created this kit to help us work through our emotions. Any medical concerns or treatment should be discussed with your doctor. Some people with sensitive skin may react to certain essential oils. Apply oil to a small area of the skin first, then wait 15 minutes. If redness occurs, rub the area with a vegetable oil, diluting the essential oils with a carrot oil such as a B6 oil will help prevent any skin sensitivities. So I'd like to go through some of the oils now in this feelings kit with you. And the thing I love about this kit is that when you get this kit, you'll find that the instructions, suggested use, are right on the back of the kit. So if you just follow the instructions to the kit, it's one of the best ways to actually use the kit. The first oil that we have in this kit will be Valor 2. And Gary Young specially formulated Valor 2. It's an essential oil blend. And his recommended option as to the alternative of the original Valor that we once had. Gary handpicked this new formulation to stay true to the original constituent characters of its predecessor and offer some great experiences. Valor 2 includes Young Living's exclusive Northern Lights Black Spruce and Idaho Blue Spruce essential oils, along with ylang-ylang, frankincense, vetiver, cistus, bergamot, cassia, German chamomile, and other oils. So you could diffuse Valor 2 for an inspiring and calming aroma, or applying topically to experience this empowering and uplifting fragrance. Valor 2 includes the natural occurring constituents of linalool, alpha-pinene, campine, and limonene. Along with camphor, you'll now have 2 unique and powerful options that can be used individually or together for a complementary experience. You apply this to the shoulders to relax the body. Valor helps us to find courage and to discover our inner strength. The next oil in this kit is called Inner Child, and it's one of my favorite oils. When children have been abused, they become disconnected with their inner child or identity, which causes confusion. This fractures the personality and creates problems that tend to surface in the early to mid-adult years, often mislabeled as a midlife crisis. This fragrance stimulates memory response and helps one reconnect to the inner self or your identity. This is one of the first steps to finding emotional balance. The ingredients in this oil are orange, tangerine, ylang-ylang, royal Hawaiian sandalwood, jasmine, lemongrass, black spruce, and neroli orange. You could always diffuse this oil, or you could dilute it with the V6 oil and apply 1 or 2 drops on the edge of the ears, the wrists, the neck, the temples. And for me, I like to wear this oil as a perfume. It's an oil that reminds me to reconnect to my inner child. And actually, for me, it reminds me to just be a little bit more playful. It's one of my favorite oils. I actually wear it as a perfume. The next oil in this kit is called Release Oil. And as you see, you apply over the liver, then focus on the negative stress, the tragedies that we've had, or bad memories. Release oil is a helpful blend to release anger and memory trauma from the liver in order to create emotional well-being. It helps open the subconscious mind through the pineal stimulation to release deep-seated traumas. It is one of the most powerful of the emotional supporting essential oil blends. It's got ylang-ylang, it's got a carrier oil of olive oil in it, lavender, geranium, royal Hawaiian sandalwood, grapefruit, tangerine, spearmint, lemon, blue cypress, davana, lime, ocotillo, jasmine, and German chamomile with blue tansy and a little bit of rose. Very, very powerful oil. It brings your awareness to the liver area and connect with your inner self and let go of all the emotions that no longer serve you. Feel how free it is to let go of any unwanted emotions. Release is, I think, one of the most powerful words in our English language, because it's one of the things that for the majority of people we have the most difficult time is releasing. Thoughts that no longer serve us, stories that no longer serve us, memories. And every day of our life we can start over and release, we can make it up, we can start again. The next oil in this kit is called Present Time. And again, you'd apply over the back of the neck, you'd leave the past and come into the present moment, feel the power that you have and focus on here and now and enjoy the new you. The thing I love about this oil is it really brings us in present time. And to be honest with you, if you think about your life, there's no actual distress in our life in present time, because all of the stress and what we have in our life that creates our problems is usually a story or memory from the past. But present time is a blend, it's an empowering fragrance that creates a feeling of being in the moment. Any type of disease, and when I say disease, I'm talking about being out of ease. It's developed when we live in the past and with regret. So being in the present time is a key to progressing and moving forward in your life. This blend is made up with sweet almond oil. It's got neroli oil, black spruce, and ylang-ylang. And again, you can always diffuse all of these oils. Another blend in the kit is called Harmony. And harmony can be applied to the side of the body and concentrate on the present moment. Simple focus on how it feels to let go of any negative emotions and become one with yourself. This blend promotes physical and emotional healing by creating a harmonic balance for energy centers in the body. It brings us into harmony with all things, people, and cycles of life. It's a beneficial in reducing stress, amplifying all of our well-being, and dissipating feelings of discord. It's also uplifting and elevating to the mind, creating a positive attitude. Harmony has been a wonderful oil blend for a lot of men to wear as an aftershave. I know that we have all the Shutron products now and a whole line of products that we're finding for the men, but I have found that Harmony has been one of the greatest oil blends that kind of mixes with your own pheromones and smells a little different on everyone. And it's been, over the course of all the 25 years I've been with Young Living, it's been a phenomenal oil blend for a lot of men to use as an aftershave. Again, you can diffuse this oil again, apply, this is a great oil to then apply behind the ears, the wrist, the temples, over the heart, any of the chakras. And again, remember, all of the oils can be applied to the feet. The feet reflexes on the body. And one of the most important oils in this whole kit is the blend called Forgiveness. And this was a blend that Gary created to release hurt feelings and negative emotions. It helps us release negative memories, allowing one to move past emotional barriers and attain higher awareness, assisting the person to forgive and let go. Its ingredients are, it's in a blend of sesame seed oil. It's got melissa, geranium, frankincense, royal Hawaiian sandalwood, coriander, angelica, lavender, bergamot, lemon, ylang-ylang, jasmine, helichrysum, Roman chamomile, palmarosa, and rose oil. Again, you can diffuse this oil, apply over the heart, feel the power effects as it breaks down strong emotional layers. Helps us. This is so important because there's lots of times in our life that maybe we're not really needing to forgive anyone except ourselves. Maybe it's the place in our life where we just have to forgive ourselves for what's happened to us, and knowing that, see, I know that no matter what happens in life, there's always a place that there's a great learning in everything. And that learning may be the fact that we just never let this happen again to us, but always taking in the greatest learning to what that can happen. And sometimes it's just the place of forgiving ourselves. With forgiveness, I just want to share a little poem that was written by a humanitarian poet. His name was Robert A. Mingo. And Gary once told me that true forgiveness is when you actually forget. And so just think about this for a moment. Sometimes when we're harmed by friend or by foe, we harbor bad feelings we refuse to let go. Feelings of anger, sorrow, and pain, these feelings don't help us. They're all felt in vain. As a matter of fact, they can tear us apart, they dampen our spirit and poison our heart. When done in injustice, it's not easy to cope, but dwelling on it, it diminishes hope. It's not easy to live with pain and regret. It's much better by far to forgive and forget. So just talking about getting into the closing of this class, Gary, again, says negative experiences and ideas are recorded in our brains and locked into our memories throughout our lives. These memories range from mild to extreme, and they have a profound effect on our health and our happiness. In order to become who we are intended to be, we must erase these negatives and reprogram our thoughts to make positive ideas our reality. And this is why Gary created the Feelings Kit, as a place for us to start to get in touch with the feelings that are actually running our life. And I show this little picture of the monkeys, you know, remember that kind of what we hear, what we see, and what we do, how important it really is. And again, I have another little story to share with you. And some of you may have heard this before, but it's called the carrot, the eggs, and coffee beans, and the author is unknown on this story. But a young woman went to her mother and told her about her life and how things were so hard for her. She did not know how she was going to make it, and she wanted to give up. She was tired of fighting and struggling, and it seemed as one problem was solved and a new one arose. Her mother took her to the kitchen. She filled 3 pots with water. In the first, she placed carrots, and in the second, she placed eggs. And in the third, she placed ground coffee beans. She let them sit and boil without saying a word. In about 20 minutes, she turned off the burners. She fished all the carrots out and placed them in a bowl. She pulled the egg out and placed them in a bowl. Then she ladled the coffee out and placed it in a bowl. Turning to her daughter, she asked, "Tell me, what do you see?" "Carrots, eggs, and coffee," she replied. She brought her closer and asked her to feel the carrots. The daughter did, and she noted that they were soft. Then she asked her to take an egg and break it. After pulling off the shell, she observed the hard boiled egg. Finally, she asked her to sip the coffee. The daughter smiled, and the taste of the rich aroma. The daughter then asked, "What's the point, Mother?" Her mother explained that each of these objects had faced the same adversity, boiling water, but each reacted differently. The carrot went in strong, hard, and unrelenting. However, after being subjected to the boiling water, it softened and became weak. The egg had been fragile. Its thin outer shell had protected its liquid interior. But after sitting through the boiling water, its inside became hardened. The ground coffee beans were unique, however, and after they were in the boiling water, they had changed the water. "Which are you?" she asked her daughter. "When adversity knocks on your door, how do you respond? Are you the carrot, an egg, or the coffee bean?" Think of this. Which am I? With pain and adversity, do I will to become soft and lose my strength? Am I the egg that starts with a malleable heart but changes with the heat? Did I have the fluid spirit, but after death, a breakup, or financial hardship, or some other trial, have I become hardened and stiff? Does the shell look the same, but on the inside, am I bitter and tough with a stiff spirit and a hardened heart? Or am I like the coffee bean? The bean actually changed the hot water. The very circumstances that brings the pain, when the water gets hot, it releases the fragrance and the flavor. If you are like the bean, then things are at their worst. You get better and you change the situation around you. When the hours are the darkest and the trials are the greatest, do you elevate to another level? How do you handle adversity? And it's just something for us to think about, because every day in our life, we're dealing with all of our emotions and how we deal with that. I've been a teacher of conscious language, and I believe that our language has a lot to do with what's showing up in our life. And if we change our thoughts, we would change our language, we change our life. And this was a fun little card just to kind of give you an idea about language. Here's a list of useful terms to speed up your recovery. And it's just a funny thing on the words to play out, but you can actually see it through the card. So one of the things I'm going to share with you is language has a lot to do with our lives and how we are describing what's happening. When we talk about life being a struggle, we actually say the word struggle, and now life is a struggle. So again, look at the language and how you're describing what's happening in your life. And I'm not saying not to share the language, but to share it and then let it go and change the language, change your thoughts, change your beliefs. And it's simple as just using this little feelings kit. It's simple just to start with it. Just follow the directions on the package. And I would advise you to look at going through the feelings kit within 30 days. Literally every day, applying the oils and feeling the feelings. Give yourself the time and the space to feel the emotions that come up. Journalizing is a great thing to do when you're having these feelings and emotions come up, and just to give yourself the space to feel those emotions. A lot of times when we find that we haven't been able to release the emotions in our life, or feel like we've been edified or even heard, and we stuff that back into our bodies, then it shows up somewhere at some time in our lives. So Gary Young created this feelings kit to give you an opportunity to start to feel your feelings and transform them and transmute them into the life that you deserve to have. So it's with great pleasure that I got to talk to you just a little bit today about Young Living's Feelings Kit and how to start and feel that. And I end with this slide: where there is the most feeling, there is the greatest martyrdom. And that Leonardo da Vinci actually said that. So feel your feelings, laugh, cry, be in the moment of your feelings, embrace your feelings, and share them in a way that you feel heard, that you feel that you have been actually edified and listened to in a place. And sometimes it may be the fact of just writing everything down and burning it, or it may be the place of taking a pillow and hitting it, or going to a mountaintop and screaming. But find a way to let those feelings go. And I know that in doing this and incorporating the Feelings Kit of Young Living into your life, you'll have a greater life. Thank you very much.